success is because of you.
His Excellency Ronald Tom, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, very good afternoon to you all. We have now come to the end of the 2 days of very exciting and useful discussions. I am proud to inform you that this is the first time a Partnership Day has been held with the pre-COP. This is an unprecedented achievement because normally the pre-COP sessions are only devoted to our party ministers and heads of delegations. The Fiji COP presidency recognized the importance of the contribution of all stakeholders, which is why the Partnership Days were organized. This morning I presented to the heads of states, heads of government and ministers of more than 60 countries your ideas, views and recommendations. This was very well received. The main objective of the Partnership Days was to encourage the exchange of information, forge partnerships, and identify innovative opportunities and solutions to accelerate climate action. From feedback I have received, I can confidently say that this objective has been successfully met. The success is because of you. Your willingness to share information, your openness in sharing your good and bad experiences as well, and your valuable advice on tapping into opportunities to implement and accelerate climate action. The Partnership Day also amplified the need for continued engagement with all stakeholders at COP23 and beyond. What came out very strongly in all the discussions was the need to link up to SDGs. And I've just had a bilateral with the Under-Secretary General, Madam Amina Mohammed, and again, I kept emphasizing this as well. She being a strong advocate of the SDGs, as I stated yesterday in the opening session, whether it be the Paris Agreement, whether it be the Shanghai framework, whether it be the Addis Ababa Initiative on Financing, the destination is sustainable development. And we need to link up with the SDGs. Again, the Mayor of Penang Island on sharing her experiences highlighted the need to transfer and localize the implementation of SDGs in cities, which could result in enhanced resilience and effective responses to climate change. We all heard the United Nations Deputy Secretary General in her statement recognizing the Pacific Partnership as a new catalyst for the Marrakesh Partnership for Global Climate Action. And in this context, I was pleased to hear that after the Climate Action Pacific Conference here in July 2017, selected partners from the areas of health, oceans, energy, forests, climate justice and gender have progressed significantly on the recommendations from the conference. A major development is the establishment of the Regional Pacific NDC Hub, and a formal announcement of the hub will be made at COP23. Again, this NDC Hub is about the implementation of our NDCs, the enhancement of our NDCs, and of course the review of our NDCs as well. We heard from the private sector how creative and innovative ideas integrated into business practice can be a vehicle to advance the climate change agenda. Our stakeholders have also recommended the need for innovative financing instruments that address not only disaster but also long-term resilience. The importance of donors coming together to leverage finance for supporting developing countries to achieve their NDCs and the linkage to the SDGs and National Development Agenda was also emphasized. Some observer constituencies and intergovernmental organizations highlighted the need to increase the level of ambition of current and new NDCs, and some emphasis was put on the need for accelerating the shift away from fossil fuels towards a production system based on renewable energy and energy efficiency. A significant event during these 2 days was the soft launch of the Oceans Pathway Partnership that will be later formally launched at COP23, and we are thankful that the Oceans Champion is here with us, the Honorable Minister for Fisheries, the Honorable Koroi Webster. It is envisaged that this initiative will result in the inclusion of an agenda item on the oceans and climate under the UNFCCC process in 2019 and the eventual establishment of a work program. Today, we met again to discuss the recommendations from the Climate Action Pacific Partnership from its meeting in July 2017. You have further work on them with the purpose to develop the Pacific Climate Action Work Program. This work program will show the commitment of all of you here, and I envisage that this will help to attract investment opportunities to support the developments of the camp. We now have information related to natural systems, health, resilience infrastructure, climate finance, decent work, and gender and human rights. And I hope to have a finalized work program to be presented at COP23. At this juncture, let me once again acknowledge His Excellency Anote Tong. It was on our way back from New York in the last G8 and the UN Climate Week when I conveyed my apology to His Excellency because he did not know that it was me that submitted his name to the UNFCCC for the Leadership Network. There is no other better person for us, particularly from this region, to nominate to represent us. And of course, we are indeed thankful, Excellency, to you for your continued support, and of course for keep fighting for us given our vulnerability and of course the issues that we need to take. And we hope that you will continue to be our voice, and we wish you well and of course good health as well, so that you will continue with this fight. And let me once again acknowledge all of you. Again, I am a strong advocate of sustainable development. I always say this in all the forums that I attend, and particularly for us in the Pacific, we take for granted our environment. I always say this with all honesty. And I did mention yesterday in one of my deliveries that a lot of times we focus on the economic benefits of development. Definitely. Developments are good, and developments are basically for that very purpose. The economic benefits of development. But I always say and argue that any development at the expense of the environment, and of course neglecting the social obligations as well, is irresponsible development. That is poor development. And it's not sustainable in the long term. And I hope that we will, as champions of climate change, that we will be all advocates of sustainable development, so that we can provide that safety network, so that we can provide that assurance for our children in the years to come. I always again refer to how sustainable development was defined in the United Nations way back in the 80s. Meeting the needs and aspirations of today without compromising the future. That's sustainable development. That's responsible development. And that is what we are aiming for, and we hope that we will work together collectively to achieve this. Once again, I will conclude by saying that we need the support of all stakeholders, parties and non-parties, cities, subnationals, businesses and investors, to accelerate climate action. We have to be united for climate action. Further, faster, together. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, and with those closing remarks from the Honourable Minister, that concludes our formalities this evening in our ceremony.
Thank you.